Good evening. Unfortunately, the bear market does seem to be back on. Bitcoin and crypto at large down today following a general risk-off attitude across risk assets. There are some macro items going on. Some data was released today that we need to take a quick look at to understand what is going on here. But yes, unfortunately, we are selling off again. We spoke about why this was likely in yesterday's video and in the video the day before that. But let's get into exactly what is going on right now and what I see coming from here. First of all, a look at the spot price here over on the Coinbase BTC spot chart. You can see that we are currently priced in at $65,385. That means that we are down from the highs put in on the 25th of February. We are down about 7%, almost on the dot, almost 7% to where we are right now. And we have erased about half of this pump that we put in back on the 24th from lows. Now, of course, from a technical perspective, as you will know, my points of interest to the upside and to the downside are going to be up here at $71,000. A little bit lower than that at the high from the 25th of February at $70,000. And then to the downside, I am most interested in $62,500. Of course, a break of that to the lows, a break of those lows, break of that to the downside at $62,500 would signal a continuation of this downtrend that we've been in basically since the pump following the last big sell-off on the 6th of February. So what is going on today in markets? Well, we had some important macro data out today, and that basically is spelling a risk-off attitude across risk assets. You can see that the S&P is down a fair bit on the day today. The data that I'm talking about is, in fact, PPI data. That is the producer price index, and this is basically pointing towards sticky inflation, if you want the too long didn't read it. US January PPI final demand year on year plus 2.9% versus plus 2.6%. That is the expected number. Take a look here. For the second month in a row, PPI came in higher than expectations. The data suggests that despite all the chatter about inflation moving lower, it is still sticky and is what is bothering people. That is what is bothering people. The inflation from the pandemic is irrelevant. Not really sure why we're talking about that right now. Cost push inflation continues to move higher, and that is not a good thing. Thank you very much, Investing Life. US stocks are sharply lower, with the Nasdaq down minus 245 points and the Dow down 571 points. I think those numbers are now outdated. If we just take a look back at the daily chart, you can see equities down on the day about 4% to where we are right now from the high of the day, or from the start of the day. We are down about 3.1% on the S&P 500. Excuse me. That is, in fact, the Bitcoin daily charts. What am I talking about? S&P is down today. There we go. Down about 0.5%. Okay, that's much more realistic. But there we go. PPI data coming in worse than expected, and that points towards sticky inflation, which leads to a general risk-off across risk assets. Bitcoin, of course, behaving like a risk asset. We've spoken about over the last couple of days that basically this pump was bought up by a lot of hopeful people who became liquidated, and now we are just naturally selling off. Not too many liquidations over the last 24 hours. Most of those came in yesterday, but still a few coming trickling through, right? $200 million worth of short side liquidations over the last 24 hours, and that number looks pretty similar at 12 hours, which makes sense, and then a little bit cooler over the last 4 to 1 hours. And if we look at the liquidation map right now, if I just move myself so you can see that properly, let me make myself a little bit smaller. There you go. As to be expected, we are now skewed to the short side. There is more short side liquidation risk in the market. There are more shorts in the market on the daily time frame and also on the monthly time frame. You're looking at a disparity of, we prefer to have this in the middle, but it's leveling out anyway. So you're looking at a disparity of about, there you go, $8.72 billion worth of short side liquidation risk and $2.51 billion worth of long side liquidation risk. That is aggregate long side liquidation risk on a 30-day time horizon, but that is matched on the 1-day time horizon. Why do we care about liquidation risk? We care about it because when long positions become liquidated, that is forced selling on the market, and when short positions become liquidated, that is forced buying on the market. But it also gives us an idea of what the market is thinking overall, and that is that prices go down. We can see that also in the fear and greed index. We're currently in extreme fear, 16 on the fear and greed index here on CoinMarketCap. Now, if we're looking at the ETF flows, another interesting day yesterday with ETF flows actually bucking that trend, right? $254 million worth of net inflows on the 26th of February, which was, in case you didn't notice it, a down day in the markets. So this is another data point in a trend that I'm starting to notice, which is the ETFs basically bucking the trend of behaving like retail. Now, you could argue that these daily ebbs and flows are superficial. They don't point towards, maybe it doesn't make too much sense to read too much into that on the daily. But I do think it's interesting that a few months ago, these almost always mapped basically what the daily candle was doing. If it was green, net inflows. If it was red, net outflows. And that is interesting because it maps the retail mentality that we see in the liquidation maps. That is, if there's green candles, everyone goes leverage long. If there's red candles, everyone goes leverage short, and usually become liquidated when that trade inevitably goes against them. But interesting that we're seeing positive ETF flows on a down day. Could that point towards institutional accumulation? We have seen also this week or the week before, I forget. Anyway, a potential anonymous Chinese institutional investor getting access to Bitcoin, getting exposure to Bitcoin via the ETFs. Could be something that's worth paying attention to, right? Don't ignore something that keeps happening. This is, like I say, this is something that I'm seeing more and more lately, and I'm becoming pretty curious about paying attention to. Basically because it points towards investors starting to see, serious big investors starting to buy into the dip, and we've seen that on chain. We've spoken about that data too. Big whales accumulating as prices sell off. Why is that interesting? Because it is something that I'm interested in emulating, right? Usually people buying into fear in these markets, people accumulating into fear in these markets, and you can map this by all sorts of metrics, right? One of them is the fear and greed index. Usually when you're buying into extreme fear, you are rewarded with more upside. You're buying the asset at a discount, and you get to enjoy the upside of that over time. Interesting to see when big money starts moving. But as I've said, this is just something that I'm starting to notice a change in behavior on the ETF flows. Usually these top layer daily flows are behaving like retail does, but I'm starting to notice a bit of a change in that, which is pretty interesting. Look at this also. Crypto Clarity Act, right? The odds of this coming through, signed into law in 2026. This is obviously a big regulatory step in the US. It would make it much easier for crypto companies to understand the regulatory landscape and gets us basically closer to mass adoption. These odds are pretty good right now on Polymarket. Okay, currently at 67%. This week we've been up as high as 85% this week. We've got JP Morgan saying the Clarity Act will shape the future of crypto market and institutional inflows. JP Morgan believes the future trajectory of digital asset depends less on technical charts and more on decisions made in Washington. In a recent research note, the bank said US market structure legislation could become the key driver of sustained crypto recovery before year end. I think, to be honest, a lot of people, not just JP Morgan, a lot of institutions as well, not just JP Morgan, have a vested interest in that being signed into law, whatever it ends up looking like before the end of the year. But interesting to see these things moving. Interesting to see that the odds, at least on Polymarket, of that aren't down in the gutter. That would obviously be a very big step forward. It would be very bullish news. Would it be bullish enough in isolation to turn the bear phase of the market around? I'm not so sure about that, but I'm certainly open to it. Okay, certainly open to it. Could be a situation where we just see a big trap, right? Once again, markets pump on that news, becomes a buy the rumor, sell the news type event, and then we continue to see selling off. I think timing is going to be important in that one. But there you have it. That's where we are right now. I'm not looking to get into any short-term positions just yet until we start seeing the edges of this range, right? And that by the range, I mean 62.5K and, well, realistically $70,100. Break to the downside, interested in longs short term. Even more interested in accumulating more spot to the upside. Breaks to the more spot for my long-term bags, I should say. Breaks to the upside, less interested in buying, more interested in seeing basically how the market reacts to that. Do a lot of people jump in, leverage long, and do those longs leave themselves exposed to be wrecked? But there we go. That is just what I'm looking at. Purely my opinion, shared just for entertainment purposes. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it entertaining. There is plenty more to come. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.